Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Ali Moreno and Stevie Nicol. I'll tell you what, later on in the programme, you've got to see these quotes from Antonio Conte that he made after Spurs' defeat against Burnley. We'll be discussing them in some detail. But first, we kick things off in the Champions League. Atletico Madrid against Manchester United was the big game on Wednesday, and it finished Atleti 1, Manchester United 1. Felix with a header early on to give Atleti the lead. Elanga late on in the tie, giving United the equaliser, which I imagine, according to the bookies, will make them favourites to make it through to the next round. Well, for more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Frank Leboeuf and Nader Manura are with us. We'll hear from them in a moment. But first, Ali, we've seen a lot of Atleti this season, a lot of rubbish from Atleti. I don't think I've ever seen them, this campaign, dominate a team as they did in that first half.
Yes. And what's amazing is Atletico Madrid today, the way that they scored their first goal, or the only goal of the game, early cross, header from Joao Felix, and you're thinking, where did this come from? As you said, we have seen them play time and time again this season. And that build of a play has not been part of what they do. Defending has not been part of what they do. Pressing together has not been part of what they do. Dominating games and taking the game to other teams in the manner they did against Manchester United in the first half has not been part of what they've done this whole year. So I have to believe that if this is what they have been over the course of a season, it's more of a reflection of what Manchester United are currently than what Atletico Madrid were today in particular. The first 45 minutes, there was only one team on the field, and it was Atletico Madrid all the time. Having said that, if you're Manchester United, you say, you know what, I don't care what you think. It's 1-1, and we're going home with an advantage in terms of being now the favorites because we should win at home against Atletico Madrid. This is what I would tell you about both teams. They're both awful.
Right.
They're both bad teams. Bad, really, really bad teams. And they're disorganized in some of the things that they do. And I would pose this question about Manchester United more so than Atletico Madrid. What are they trying to do on the field? What is the game plan? When you watch them play, what is it that was out there in terms of, look, this is our plan and our identity today against Atletico Madrid. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to force them one way. We're trying to high press. We're trying to wait for them. What is it that you're trying to do in order to win a game? There doesn't seem to be a plan for Manchester United, but they stumble into a goal, 1-1, and they'll take it.
Was that first half about Atleti resetting, rediscovering that form that saw them get so much success over the last few years? Or how much was it Manchester United just letting them play the way they did?
I think you've got to give the credit to Atletico Madrid. And I think when you look at the overall game and you look at the overall stats, particularly the possession, tells you how much they fell away in the last part of the game.
Yeah.
Because for 45 minutes, Manchester United didn't get a kick. So to end up having more possession at the end of the game tells you that Atleti definitely raised their game to what we were expecting them to be for the whole of this season, which never materialised. But Manchester United, I was saying to you just before the game finished, if you ask me to talk about Manchester United, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. You know, a lot of teams try and play a certain way, but maybe don't have the players to do it.
Right.
I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what they're trying to do. You know, I think it's meant to be a 4-3-3, but in the end up, I don't know what it is, because there doesn't seem to be any shape to them. Defensively, it seems like Ranić can't make his mind up who should play centre-back, because you don't play a centre-back at right-back.
That was
in such a big Lindelof. No centre-back likes to be taken wide, first and foremost. And so to actually take one and to stand out there, I want you to do what a fullback does, it makes no sense whatsoever. And of course, they lost the goal from that side.
Yeah.
Neither him nor Fred could get sorted. The ball comes in and it's in the back of the net. So, listen, as Ali said, two bad teams. One that doesn't really know what it's about. At least if you're Atletico Madrid, you can say, you know what, 45 minutes we looked like a team. We closed as a team. We pressed the ball as a team. We scored a good goal. We actually hit the crossbar. So at half-time, you actually had the semblance of a team. Unfortunately,
they ran out of gas. Yeah.
They ran out of gas. It fell apart in the second half.
Do you agree, Nathan? Two poor teams?
Yeah, I would have to say so. I think given the positions in the leagues, in the respective leagues at this moment, it's kind of the game that you sort of expected. And interestingly, though, one of the broadcasters over here was showing the game. They said before kickoff, "Oh, United head into this as favourites because Atletico are having such a poor season domestically." And I thought, are we forgetting something here? And I think we kind of saw that in the way that game panned out. I thought at times that Atletico looked good with the crowd behind them, and you can see they're a different beast when it comes down to the Champions League and these sort of like home ties and the importance of them. But then, the game finishes 1-1 and it's a flat game, especially the way United play. And you ask yourself the question, like, it would have been probably more of a surprise, I believe, if United played well, because as I look back, when was the last time they were sort of gaining a head of steam and they looked really, really good, whether it was under this manager or Solskjaer before. So, it's one of those games. They got something from it, which they'll be very happy with. But it's nothing to say that there's a guarantee that they'll win at Old Trafford either. Because the fact is, this idea of they've gotten a point, they've gotten the tie, and then the second leg should be fine in front of 70,000 people. We've seen them lose at home, so the fact is, it's still very, very open.
Frank, we discussed on yesterday's show, didn't we, the fact that if there was ever a time to play Atletico Madrid, this is it. Given their form so far this season, Manchester United made them look world-class like in that first half, which is such an indictment, surely, on Rangnick, his tactics and the players.
Yeah, I have to agree with all my colleagues, and you're absolutely right. I was wondering, what was the plan, as Ali said, of Manchester United, and I felt that there was a plan from Atleti and from Simeone, where Lodi was the key man, in fact, on the left side, because he was becoming the fifth defender defensively, but also a left wing on the offensive aspect of the game, and he made that difference. And in fact, they lost that game where they made a substitution with Lemar coming in, and Lemar didn't come back as the fifth defender. And I think on top of it, Atleti didn't, lost their mojo in a way that they thought about fighting against the referee and the decision of the referee, where they should have kept the mind that they had, the first 45 minutes. But you're absolutely right. Manchester United made them look good the first half, where the whole season they were very average, I would say. And Manchester United did draw that game because of the mistakes of Atletico, not because of their talent. Because I didn't see anything good coming from Manchester United. That was an appalling performance today from the Red Devils.
There was one thing that happened today that I think sums up both these sides and both these players right now. It was a free kick for Manchester United, 25 yards out. Mm-hmm. The man on the ball was Ronaldo. Number one, we were all sitting there going, why are you letting Ronaldo take it? Because he's probably going to hit the wall. And you look at the wall, and Griezmann is sitting on his backside behind the wall. I mean, 5 years ago, two players who had the football world at their feet, and we're watching one of them lying behind a wall and the other one taking a free kick that we all knew was only going to end up, well, either one in the wall or two where it did, way high over the crossbar.
I know some of the tweets we're going to get, Ali.
What's that?
Because I know Twitter and social media will say...
Stay up with it then.
Wait a minute, after PSG beat Real Madrid, you're all critical of Lionel Messi. Will you be as critical of Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes. Of course. And why not? We don't discriminate. I know that people think that we have favorites or whatever, but the truth is, if you're Cristiano Ronaldo and you're gesturing and posturing and the arms are going everywhere, and you have no real impact on the game other than complain about fouls or yellow cards or
free kick.
Yeah, free kick. Yes, that Stevie documented so very well. There was nothing about Cristiano Ronaldo's performance today that you can highlight and say, there he is. That's why he's on the field. But you can say that about many of the players in Manchester United, and that's how poor the performance was. That is going to get sort of, in some ways, kind of put aside because, well, it's 1-1. It's okay. Right. I think it puts a makeup on what was a very, very poor display for many of the players. Bruno Fernandes ends up having the assist on the goal. But up until that point, it was turnover after turnover. And worst of all, worse so than the turnovers, is the fact that defensively, he doesn't give you any help. In fact, he takes you, makes Manchester United so disorganized defensively. He goes and gets the ball from center backs and then goes to the right and then goes to the left and appears everywhere. But defensively, he's not appearing anywhere. There's a hole there for Manchester United. They don't control the midfield. They don't control games. And mind you, this was an Atletico Madrid team who Antoine Griezmann came off the bench because he's been injured for 6 weeks. Yeah. Koke out injured, team captain. Yannick Carrasco, perhaps their most dangerous player down the left-hand side, out because he was suspended. All sorts of absences. Luis Suarez didn't even come on the field because he's carrying an injury as well. All sorts of absences from Atletico Madrid, and still they were far the better team and deserved more out of this game.
Did someone's wall fall down? What happened? Who was that? Was that
I don't know.
Frank or was that Nadem? Frank,
Nope.
What happened?
No, somebody asked me to go a little bit forward, so one of my stuff, from my play fell off. But that's okay. I'm fine. That's all right. I was carefully listening to Ali. Can I add something about that, by the way? We talked about Ronaldo, but can we talk about also Bruno Fernandes? Because I want to know what that guy was doing the first half. He's supposed to be the skipper, or almost the skipper of the game, and we don't see him when you have a big game. Well, okay, he gave an assist, so people are going to find an excuse for him, but really, I'm expecting much more from a guy like that.
Who's going through, Frank?
Oh my God!
I don't think he is.
I don't know. Do I really have to choose? Because I really don't know, and I don't think it does really matter, because I don't think neither of the two is going to win the Champions League. So I would say,
Wow.
who cares?
You and your hot takes, Frank. Yeah. Nadem, who's going through?
I'm going to say United. It's probably going to be 0-0 in that second game, extra time, penalties, and they'll somehow sneak through like that. But I'm with Frank. I can't see whoever's winning this game going through and winning the whole competition. So I'll just say them. But what difference does it make anyway?
Who's going through, Ali?
Oh, I'm going to go with a flyer here, Atletico Madrid.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe going away and playing at Old Trafford, just like they did against Liverpool a couple of years back. That maybe this is what bonds this team together, brings them together. They fight, they'll get a goal, winner 1-0. Maybe an old school performance from Atletico Madrid.
I'm with Frank. I have no idea.
What? Neither do I, but I took a position.
Oh. Atletico.
It's your invisible coin that
My
you've tossed
invisible
in the
coin.
air.
Just told me Atletico.
Yeah.
And seriously, for every single reason you could say one, you could say the same about the other team. I mean, come on.
One positive, I suppose, from a United perspective, Elanga coming on, his first touch, aiming up in the back of the net, Nadem.
Yeah, 100%. He's an exciting young player for them. Obviously, you wouldn't have fancied him to be the game winner when you've got someone like Ronaldo and Fernandes on the field and so on. But it's a big goal, it's a big moment. And the fact that he comes on and tries to stretch the game for United poses a far different threat to Atletico. And that's what they needed at times. So it's good to see him doing that. And it's good to see the youngsters coming through the academy and being a big part of their success. And as the United fans sang his name for 10 minutes, it's probably the highlight of the whole game. And it makes it worthwhile for the fans that went over. So, yeah, it's definitely a positive for them.
Oblak?
Well, this guy's been so good that you can't blame the defence only for losing the amount of goals they have this year.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you're being given that amount of praise that he's been given,
Right.
you have to come up with some saves.
Right.
Was
Was his positioning wrong?
Yes.
Right.
He was too far. Elanga had too much of the goal.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to get the kid to have the composure to pick the spot out. It's fantastic. But he shouldn't have had that much room.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.